the universe and your universe. The intersection of faith, manifestation, and the law of attraction. Introduction. The concept of manifesting one's desires has captivated the minds of countless individuals for centuries. From the philosophical musings of ancient sages to the motivational teachings of modern-day thinkers, the idea that we can shape our reality through our thoughts and beliefs has been a recurring theme. In the contemporary world, this concept is often associated with the law of attraction, a principle that suggests our thoughts and feelings can attract corresponding experiences and outcomes. Among the many proponents of this idea, Helene Hadsell, famously known as the contest queen, stands out as a remarkable example. Hadsell's life and her SPEC method, select, project, expect, and collect, have inspired many to explore the possibilities of intentional manifestation. But how does this idea align with biblical teachings? Can the principles of the law of attraction coexist with a Christian faith? And what can we learn from Helene Hadsell's approach that resonates with the wisdom of the scriptures? In this exploration, we will delve into these questions, drawing parallels between Hadsell's method and biblical principles, while offering insights that are both inspiring and thought-provoking. Helene Hadsell, the contest queen. Helene Hadsell's story is nothing short of extraordinary. A homemaker turned manifestation expert, she won over 5,000 contests, including an array of prizes that ranged from everyday household items to a 4,300 square foot home. What made Hadsell's success so remarkable was not merely the volume of her wins, but the conscious and deliberate way in which she manifested her desires. She wasn't simply lucky. She had discovered a method that she believed could bring her whatever she wanted, as long as she followed it faithfully. The method she used is encapsulated in the acronym SPEC: select, project, expect, and collect. This simple yet profound approach to manifestation became the cornerstone of her teachings, as she traveled the world sharing her secrets with others. But what is it about SPEC that made it so effective? And how can we understand this process from a biblical perspective? Select. Knowing what you want. The first step in Hadsell's SPEC method is to select what you want. This step emphasizes clarity of desire, knowing exactly what you want down to the finest detail. In the Bible, we see a similar principle in passages like James 1 verses 5 to 6, where believers are encouraged to ask God for wisdom without doubting. The key here is the specificity of the request and the assurance that God will provide. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. James 1 verses 5 to 6. Just as Hadsell emphasized the importance of selecting your desires with precision, the Bible teaches that when we approach God, we should do so with a clear and unwavering mind. Whether it is wisdom, provision, or guidance, the act of selecting or choosing what we seek is fundamental to receiving it. Project. Visualizing the outcome. Once the desire is selected, the next step in the SPEC method is to project it, essentially to visualize and imagine it as already being realized. Visualization is a powerful tool, and Hadsell credited much of her success to her ability to see her desires as already fulfilled. This aligns with the biblical concept of faith as described in Hebrews 11 verse 1. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Hebrews 11 verse 1 and 8. Faith, in many ways, is a form of projection. It involves seeing the unseen, believing in the yet-to-be manifested, and holding on to the promise of what is to come. Just as Hadsell would visualize her wins, believers are called to visualize the fulfillment of God's promises in their lives. This requires a deep conviction that what is hoped for will indeed come to pass, even if the physical evidence is not yet present. Expect. Holding on to faith. The third step, expect, is where many people falter. To expect means to maintain an unwavering belief that what you have selected and projected will come to pass. Hadsell's approach was rooted in a confident expectation that her desires would manifest, and this expectation was key to her success. The Bible similarly emphasizes the importance of expectation, particularly in the context of faith. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Mark 11 verse 24. Here, Jesus teaches about the power of expectation in prayer. The belief that you have already received what you ask for is crucial. This mirrors the expectancy in Hadsell's method, where the act of expecting is not just a hopeful wish but a confident assurance that the desired outcome is on its way. Collect. Receiving the manifestation. Finally, the collect step in the SPEC method involves receiving the manifested desire. For Hadsell, this was the natural conclusion of her process. Having selected, projected, and expected, she would then collect her prize. In the Christian faith, this step can be understood as the moment when prayers are answered and promises are fulfilled. And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of His glory in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4 verse 19. This verse reflects the culmination of faith and expectation. When we have faith in God's provision and maintain a confident expectation, we position ourselves to receive the fulfillment of His promises. Just as Hadsell collected her winnings, believers are called to receive God's blessings with gratitude and recognition of His faithfulness. The law of attraction and biblical faith. A harmonious intersection. The law of attraction posits that like attracts like, that our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs can draw corresponding experiences into our lives. While this idea is often framed in secular or New Age contexts, it is worth considering how it aligns with biblical principles. At its core, the law of attraction emphasizes the power of belief, the importance of positive thinking, and the role of expectation in shaping our reality. These concepts are not entirely foreign to the Bible. Consider the words of Proverbs 23 verse 7. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. NKJV. This verse highlights the profound impact of our thoughts and beliefs on our lives. Similarly, Philippians 4 verse 8 encourages believers to focus on what is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and admirable, essentially to cultivate a positive and godly mindset. However, a key difference between the law of attraction and biblical teaching lies in the source of power. While the law of attraction often emphasizes the individual's power to manifest their desires, the Bible teaches that all blessings and manifestations come from God. This distinction is crucial, as it shifts the focus from self-reliance to reliance on God's sovereignty and grace. Deeply biblical questions and answers. Can we truly manifest our desires through thought alone? The Bible teaches that our thoughts and beliefs have power, but it also emphasizes the importance of aligning our desires with God's will. James 4 verse 3 warns, "When you ask, you do not receive, because you ask with wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures." This suggests that while thoughts and desires are important, they must be aligned with God's purposes to be fulfilled. Is it wrong to visualize or project our desires? Visualization, when used in the context of faith, is not inherently wrong. Hebrews 11 verse 1 speaks of faith as a form of visualization, the assurance of things hoped for. However, the Bible cautions against idolatry or placing our desires above God. Our visualizations should be submitted to God's will, seeking His guidance and blessing. How does expectation fit into a life of faith? Expectation is a natural outgrowth of faith. When we truly believe in God's promises, we will expect them to be fulfilled. Mark 11 verse 24 encourages believers to expect answers to their prayers, but this expectation must be rooted in a trust that God's timing and ways are perfect. What is the role of gratitude in manifestation? Gratitude is a powerful aspect of manifestation and faith. Philippians 4 verses 6 to 7 encourages believers to present their requests to God with thanksgiving. Gratitude not only aligns us with God's will but also opens our hearts to receive His blessings. How do we reconcile the desire for material blessings with spiritual growth? The Bible does not condemn material blessings but warns against the love of money. 1 Timothy 6 verse 10. Spiritual growth involves seeking God's kingdom first. Matthew 6 verse 33. And trusting that material needs will be provided. Manifestation should be pursued with a heart that desires God above all else. Conclusion. Integrating faith and the law of attraction. Helene Hadsell's life and her SPEC method offer valuable insights into the power of belief, visualization, and expectation. However, for those who follow the Christian faith, It is essential to integrate these principles with a reliance on God's sovereignty and grace. The law of attraction, when viewed through a biblical lens, can be a tool for understanding how our thoughts and beliefs align with God's will. Ultimately, true manifestation occurs when our desires are in harmony with God's purposes, and when we trust Him as the source of all blessings. In your own life, consider how you can apply the principles of select, project, expect, and collect, while remaining grounded in faith. As you do so, remember that the greatest manifestation of all is a life that reflects the love, wisdom, and power of God, a life that is truly aligned with His divine will. Kindly subscribe, like, follow, and comment,